Hey everybody, what's going on? Hopefully we are live. There we go, and I don't see any sim sounds. But let's see what we get here. What's going on, everybody? I just got done with a flight down in Brazil. Hey Aaron, what's going on? How you doing? Bob, how are you? Mike Coffee in the house as well today. Just got done with a flight down to Brazil in FlightSim 24 and had literally the worst performance I've ever had in my life. I don't know what's going on with the sim, and I don't know why I'm not getting any sound here out of the sim either. It doesn't seem like there's any audio coming from the sim itself, but we'll see. Let's try this here. Let's go rotating beacon on, external power supply on. We'll go mixtures and props full forward. Master and battery switches on. Open the fuel valves. Fuel pumps coming on. Toes are on the brakes. I don't know. Kenneth Ramos, what's going on? How are you doing? It's not my sim day, I'm telling you right now. I don't know what this story is. Oh, we got some sound now. Take a quick look outside here. I'm curious to see how FlightSim 2020 is gonna work, because my FlightSim 24 experience for the last 2 days has been appalling. I had between 5 and 10 FPS on final on this this approach I just flew into Brazil, and I mean literally 5 to 10. It had this huge pause, and then I heard 50, 40, 30, 20, 10, a bang. And it was like, okay, well, so yeah, so my flight in Brazil did not go as planned today. Hey Brian, how are you? No way! Your PC died. That stinks. Oh man. You know, one thing I'm trying to learn is that no matter how bad things are for you, it could always be worse. And I don't say that in jest. Like, it's crazy. I mean, that's terrible, Brian. I'm really sorry to hear that. Bob, I moved the cache back. I did everything I thought we could, and the funny thing was, toes off the brakes, parking brake coming off. And the funny thing was, the first bit of the flight was fine. Like, the first half of the flight was fine. And then it just, I don't know what it is. I mean, maybe it's, I'm using Freeware scenery, like for the airports in Brazil. Maybe that's what's going on. It's hard to know. You know, it's hard to know. I'm using some sceneries, some Freeware sceneries that I had right here. This is SLH Sim Designs, but the scenery I was using in FlightSim 24 today was Freeware scenery from FlightSim.to. And I'm just trying to figure out what on earth I might have done to my sim, like to 2024. It's terrible. It's like completely wrecked. I mean, I can't even fly it right now. Aaron, that's crazy, man. 14 hours Toronto to Japan. Did you do an overnight, or were you awake the whole time and sitting there? That's pretty wild. Yeah, Brian, I mean, hopefully, at least it's under warranty. How old is your system? Relatively new? So, it's just, I don't know, it seems like when it rains, it pours sometimes, you know? So let's go. Okay, flaps are set. We're gonna go fuel pumps on, and I'm starting to think like FlightSim 2020, baby. You know, I mean, Geez, this sim looks great. It performs great, and 2024 is just a hot mess right now for me anyway. And it may be the Asobo 737. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's the problem. I haven't tried another plane in like since I noticed this performance problem. So maybe it's the plane. Ooh, 5,500 pounds. That's a lot of money. So I got. Hey Peter, what's going on? Peter, if you try East USA server. I'm gonna type that in. Let's see here. East USA server. Brian, I bought mine. Let's see. Mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. Takeoff power is coming in. I bought my system in November 22 at about half what you paid, and it's still going strong. Eduardo, how are you doing? What's going on? There's 70 knots, and let's depart. There's Mike Coffee as well. See, there's something to be said. Maybe just Flight Sim 2020 is the way to go. Maybe it's just the way to go. Alright, power coming back here to 25 inches. Bring the props back here a little bit. Drop the nose and bring those flaps up. So maybe 2020 is the way to go. Maybe 2020. Maybe the world is telling me something. I got all my PD. Hey, matey, how are you doing? Great to see you. Maybe 2020 is the way to go. I got all my PMDG airplanes, which I love. My favorite. That's what I think really missing in Flight Sim 24 is me PMDGs. I'm not really climbing very well right now either, which makes me wonder a little bit. Hey Fabian, what's going on? Hey guys, this is guys, Fabian, who just jumped in the chat right now, is a Copa Airlines 737 captain. And I ran into him on VATSIM yesterday. Fabian, it's great to see you. Oh, that's awesome. And Fabian, I think if I remember correctly, you're heading up to whatchamacallit, to Montreal today, no? In real life. So these very, very cool things that happen to me in this sim. But I mean, look at this sim. I don't know why I mess with 24 when I look at this. I don't know. It's hard to know right now. So anyway, Fabian, I just oh, nice, Peter. Fabian, I just flew the next leg of my Brazil tour. Come back to 23. Bring the props back a little bit. I think 1500 is going to do us just fine for this leg over to St. Thomas. But yeah, I don't know. So I've been having this really weird the goings on with Flight Sim 24 the last couple days. But Mike Coffee needs to do a walk around. So anyway, this is nice to be back here. Nice to see everybody. I gotta try and figure out what the heck's going on with 24. I think my next step to try to figure this out is to try a different airplane. And I also think my desired tour of the British Virgin Islands today might be a little bit optimistic in terms of how far we're gonna get, but we shall see. Heading over to St. Thomas first. I mean, life's a little slower at 125 knots, and we have a 10 knot headwind apparently too. So anyway, I guess if Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 isn't working well, if that's the biggest problem I have, my life is pretty good, right? Aaron, I gotta try a different plane because I've been flying this stuff. I've only flown prior to 2 days ago or 3 days ago. Only flown GA airplanes in 2024, and but I've been trying to get some. I want to get some airliner flights in. You know, I want to start flying like VA stuff and checking that. I also got to turn my transponder on, which is probably a good idea. And yeah, these are like my first couple long haul flights in 2024. So it may just be the Asobo 737. I'm gonna try. I think next up I'm gonna try the A321, which I started flying the A321 in 2024 because the Asobo Max is junk, but I have managed to get the Max going the last couple days. But I think next up is going to try a different airplane, and we'll see how that works. I don't know. It's just depressing. Mike, you're going to catch us quick in the Comanche. Well, Comanche does what? The Comanche's cruise speed. Piper Comanche cruise speed. Let's see. Oh yeah, you're gonna catch me quick. You're gonna be doing 165 knots, something like that. Yeah, so guys, Fabian is flying in real life to Montreal today as a 737 captain. That's the coolest thing in the world. Fabian, I'm so glad you dropped in. I'm so glad to see you again. So cool. The connections you make in Flight Simulator are just wild, you know? Absolutely hilarious. And so Fabian and I were chatting a bit yesterday via VATSIM text and cool stuff. Oh, Kashif, I will do that. We'll do that, sir. I was on Discord yesterday for a bit, catching up, but I haven't really been on it today, and I'm gonna see what my performance is really good in this sim. I don't know if you guys can see the performance overlay. No, so I just threw up my performance overlay in this sim to see how it's working. It's working great. What's really weird in 24 is I'm getting terrible performance, but my GPU is like at 45% and I'm getting like 10 FPS. It's ridiculous. So, but Fabian, have a great flight. I'm gonna be watching you on Flight Radar 24. I think your flight is TUPA 422 if I remember correctly. I checked it this morning, but that's some cool stuff. Start seeing the REILs flashing here. I might just come back to 2020 and say forget 24 for now. I mean, I don't understand why I'm leaving this sim. Look at this. Just amazing. Just absolutely awesome. You know, I mean, 2024, it's just the lighting in the clouds in 2024 look ridiculously good. I mean, ridiculously good. Yeah, 422. So Fabian, you must still be flying 2020, you know, Flight Sim 2020. I would venture to guess. Oh man, Kashif, that's. I mean, I can get in. As a matter of fact, it was actually crashing quite a bit on me today too. It crashed like 4 times, and then I was able to get it going. I come back on the power here. So if you guys want to watch on Flight Radar or what's the other one? I always watch Flight Radar 24. I forget what the other one. But if you guys want to watch Copa Flight 422, Fabian is going to be captaining that up to Montreal this evening, which is wild. Fabian, you're going to be cold. You're going to be cold when you get there, let me tell you. So, they bring some power out. I'm going to notch of flaps in. I'm about 1.5 miles high right now, but good thing I'm in the Islander. Level it off. Level it off. There's 115 knots. Yeah, Brian, I saw that too. That happened to me as well. It downgraded to 3.7.1. I just don't know. I just don't know what it is right now. But every time I come back to 2020, I'm like, why do I even bother? This sim is awesome. Let's do a little bit of a side slip here. Not much of a side slip, but that direction's not working. Let's try this direction. There we go. A little bit of a side slip, not much of one. You can see that. Peter, I think you were the one who reminded me about this side slip, if I'm not mistaken. Alright, mixtures and props full forward, few pumps are on. We're gonna go one more notch of flaps here shortly. I generally don't like adding flaps on short final, so I'm actually just gonna leave it right where it is. This was a poorly planned and executed approach. Alright, power's out. Oh, and let's float while we're at it. Let's float while we're at it. That was a good touchdown and a very poor landing. Very poor approach and landing. One thing, I never judge my landings by my touchdown. You can have a good touchdown, like, and it not be a good landing. That was the case right there. Who we got coming in? There we go. Oh man, this looks good. This one, I'm using a Payware for this one actually, now that I think about it. So everybody's gonna be like 10 feet off the ground. Hey Fabian, good to see you as well. I'm gonna be watching your flight. Have a great flight. I'm telling you, it's gonna be cold weather ops for you guys tonight, because it's frigid. It is frigid. Yeah, Fabian, I have both too. I'd love to be able to get into 24, to be able to get using it again. When 24 first came out, it was working great for me, but not right now. We shall see. Maybe it makes a comeback here. But yeah, Bob, I will. It's Copa 422. But I will do that. I'll put it in the Discord. Pretty wild. And I mean, Montreal is directly north of me. I mean, it's maybe, I'll lean my mixtures. Montreal is maybe 250 miles north of me, so not too much, you know. Yeah, Peter, I thought that was my problem, and I swapped it today. And the start of the flight was really good, and I thought I had it licked, but the end of the flight was poor. I'm wondering if it's like maybe a memory leak from Flight Sim 24. I don't know what the deal is, but it's weird. It's weird. But like maybe I'll just get back in 2020 and start flying the 777 or something. I'm trying to and there we come up on the ILS hold short line, the ILS critical area. I'm trying to get back into flying in 2025. I don't, you know, I spent 90% of my time making videos last year instead of flying, and I want to I mean, I still want to make videos, obviously, but I'll do some flying. Aviation Alice, there he is. You weren't kidding when you said Alice. I didn't know what you meant, Cash. That's hysterical. All right, Beef Island is next up. Tango Uniform Papa Juliet. Here comes Mike Coffee. Let's see what we got. How far out are you? Still a little ways out. Still a little ways out. Let me have a look here. I'm gonna stop and hold short. And I mean, look at it. This looks just absolutely fantastic. So let's have a look over here. Yeah, we're gonna get out in front of you guys, and you guys can do it, maybe a touch and go and catch us up. Mixtures and props full forward. Let's go. I want to come a little bit in the nose up trim. Two pumps are on. And let's cut in here. Flaps are set. Yes, they are. Alright, heading indicator checks with the runway number. Takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed is alive. Accelerating normally. 70 knots. And rotate. Let's go flying. I'm gonna bring manifold pressure back to 25. Bring the props back a little bit. Roll in some trim here. And get out of this. B-35 guy. Look at that C-208 taking off like a rocket. Whoa! Dancing on the prop here. Drop the nose here a little bit and get the flaps up. Alright. Gotta get some panel lighting going here. Let's get some panel lighting going. So anyway, my misadventures with Flight Sim 24. Here's 1,000 feet AGL. We'll turn the fuel pumps off. Check our fuel pressures. Fuel pressures are looking good. Unusual to have a high-winged airplane with... Whoa. Unusual to have a high-wing airplane with fuel pumps, because usually the fuel is gravity fed. You have a high-wing airplane, it just goes downhill. Alright. But that's what we got. Hey, Cardboard Sim, that's awesome. B-35 guy. That's a cool plane. That is a really cool plane. And thanks for joining in. Peter, is that you, Nexus 166400? I'm suspecting so. Cardboard Sim, welcome aboard. Good to have you with us. 1500. Power's coming back to 23. Props coming back here a little bit. Yes, sir. All right, Peter. Nice. Roll in a little bit of trim. Gosh, this sim is looking amazing. Peter, or Bob, it was negative 13 this morning when I woke up. Oh my gosh, it was ridiculous. And that's Fahrenheit, ladies and gentlemen. That is not Celsius. It was cold. I haven't been outside all, yeah, I mean, I haven't walked the dog in 2 days. I took him out, well, I took him for a quick walk yesterday afternoon, but I took him for his regular morning walk, like, what's today, Wednesday, Monday morning, and his paws froze. I mean, it was just too cold for him. So, not good. It's cold. Peter, it is great to have you back in the flying club, my friend. It is great. And V35 guy, I saw somebody. I saw a V35. It was a V-tail 30. It must have been a V35. It was a V-tail Bonanza last summer. This guy had put a G3000, a G3X touchscreen full suite in that airplane. I mean, the avionics must have cost 6 figures. I mean, it must have been, you know, I mean, I don't know what a G3000 installed costs, but it's got to be. I mean, it was the craziest thing I've ever seen. I'm gonna see what the cost is. Yeah, about 100,000. Yeah, 100,000. Oh my gosh. Hey Ross, what's going on? Edinburgh, Scotland. That's we have my wife has family in Edinburgh, actually. Believe it or not. We went to a Scottish wedding about 5 years ago. Oh, that's cool, Ross. Thanks a lot. I'm glad you're here. Good to see you. You should come fly with us sometime. We fly on Wednesdays and Sundays, right around this time. Just go bopping around the Caribbean in our little, whatever you feel like flying, you know. And did I go to the wrong airport? Are you guys going? I think, let me see here. It looks like Mike and Peter are going to, maybe just going around the other side of the island. Yeah, as a matter of fact, it's probably a more direct route you guys are going. There's a bar right in here called the Beach Bar, strangely enough. Bob, take it easy. Hopefully you'll be back. But there's a little bar right in here called the Beach Bar, and they've got a webcam. It's really kind of cool stuff to watch. And right up here is the Virgin Islands National Park, and you're not supposed to fly into it, or over it rather. Oh, Brian, that's amazing. How cool is that? Yeah, Kashif, TUPJ, exactly. Beef Island. Beef Island. I'm just used to going around this side. It's probably the longer way. But there's I'm trying to see. Yeah, the beach bar is like right there. I just reserved some tickets for St. Martin for April. I don't know if I'm gonna buy them or not, but code of the next airport matey is Tango Uniform Papa Juliet. I'll type it in. Hold on. Did I get? I think I might have gone to the wrong airport, Peter. Sorry. Which? Let me see. Tango Uniform Papa Juliet is next, but you can still turn and make it. You can make it right. It's right over there. But it looks like Mike and Peter are going over to whatchamacallit? Anegada, I think the island is called. I don't mind going over there too. Yeah, Peter, you're correct. You're correct. I misunderstood what you said. Yep. So we go Tango Uniform Papa Juliet and then Tango Uniform Papa Alpha. You are correct, Peter. So Virgin Islands National Park coming up here. I don't think it's an actual regulation, but you are supposed to be courteous and not fly over national parks at less than 3,000 feet AGL, which I am going to do. Tortola, that's right. I forget how far. There's Matey in the B60. That's a sweet plane too. I forget how far Beef Island actually is from St. Thomas. I mean, when you go on 130 knots into the wind, it's it does get a little bit slow. Yeah, we got about a 20 knot headwind now. So look at that. Just amazing. So basically we can now just aim for Matey. Yeah, Ross, that'd be awesome. If you want to join the Discord, we always set up the flights on the Discord. I'd be glad to have you with us. Cash, what is that plane? That's the home build, no? That's the little home build. Here I am firing along at 14 gallons an hour both sides. Man. Somebody else must be paying for the fuel. You can always tell if somebody's got if somebody's paying for their own fuel or if somebody else is paying for the fuel. If somebody else is paying for the fuel, you take your time, start the engines early, let the engines run. If you're paying for the fuel, I would guess it's going to be, why am I guessing? That's poor policy. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look. Weather is, let me see here. TUPJ weather. Whoopsie. It is, hold on, am I gonna crash? No, I'm not crashing. That's good. I'm trying to get the METAR here. METAR. They might not even have a METAR. There we go. METAR test layout. So wind is 130 at 4. Altimeter is 1018. So let's have a look here. It's pretty close to what I got. I love the localized rain. It's one of the coolest things in the sim, in my opinion. I think I'm gonna try a different aircraft in 2024 and see what the deal is, if it performs any better, and if not, I'm just gonna switch back to 2020 and just keep flying 2020, because this sim is just flawless right now. Absolutely flawless and beautiful. You got 09015. 1700, yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna try a different one. I got another one that says 090 at 8 with light showers, so that's about right. Those are the showers in question, I'm sure. I mean, how cool is that the sim is actually rendering local showers when that's what the METAR is reporting? That is pretty cool. So I'm gonna bring a little bit of power out. Bring the props back just a little bit. Start coming down here. Jaja Boyd, what's going on? Hey, Jaja, you are lucky, man. I've never been to the U.S. Virgin Islands. I've never been to the British Virgin Islands either, for that matter. But it's one of those places I want to. It's so funny that I'm so familiar with everything. Like, I know where the airports are. I know, I mean, that's Road Town right there, the capital of the British Virgin Islands. I can give you a tour, but I've never been here before. But yeah, I think it's runway 7, by the way, Peter. I never answered your question. I told you the wind, but I didn't tell you the runway. But Jaja, it's great to see you. Where in the Virgin Islands are you from? Actually, you know what? And I just told a lie. I've been to St. Croix, but I don't think St. Croix really counts. It sort of counts. But I mean, I consider this area the burn map. Look at this, man. All right, and we're gonna get some localized showers. This is some cool stuff. St. Thomas. I have a friend of mine who goes to St. Thomas all the time. Little more power out. Get back to 115. That's really cool. What a beautiful part of the world. Are you there now, or are you living somewhere else now? It's such a beautiful part of the world. Two pumps are on. Let's go mixtures full forward. And let me see here. I'm just gonna drop the nose and then pull it up. Slow myself down. Try to get in the flap range here. Live there. That's nice. That is sweet. Matter of fact, we had the guy who used to join us quite a bit on these group flights, who I haven't seen in quite a while, who's from the British Virgin Islands. But there's white arcs, so there's second launch of flaps. And now I gotta start thinking about my speed. I also need to start thinking about not hitting that hill. Rule number one in flying, don't hit things. Yeah, Tortola's British BVI. Beautiful place. You know, matey, that's where I want to be. So he says going down 2,000 feet a minute. Wow, that was lucky that I didn't just crash right there. All right, mixtures and props full forward. Fuel pumps are on. Flaps are set. Looks like this weather is a bit problematic here. Certainly can't be my flying. Just kidding. I come back to about 17. I get in these weird spots where I feel like the energy of my plane is incorrect. I'm in one of those weird spots right now. And yeah, 24 does feel different, that's for darn sure. Alright. Mixtures and props full forward, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set, gears down and welded, seatbelts are secure, we are ready to go. And I just don't know how. Yeah. I don't know, maybe it's just a sim thing. But I'm gonna go touch and go here. I'm going touch and go. We can get over to Anegada here. Alright, power's coming out. A bit of left rudder. Seemed better than it deserved. We'll go up one notch on the flaps. What's our trim looking like? A little bit of nose down trim. And power's coming in. Alright, takeoff power is set. Engine instruments in the green. There we go. There we go. Yeah, it was pretty bumpy, wasn't it, Cash? It was, but maybe it wasn't my flying. I usually blame my flying. Whoops. So, where are we here, Anegada? Where are you? Oh, I can see it just up there. So Anegada is very flat. This is one of the places that I really want to see someday in my life, in real life, because it's out of the way, quiet, and supposedly one of those places that there's flaps up. Supposedly one of these places that just nice and quiet, which is good. Let's see here. Let's see how far away we are. Oopsie. No. Alright. Come on, baby. Wait, is that a P? Can't tell. No, that's an R. Yes, that's what we want right there. Alright, heading is 036. 12 minutes out. Alright, cool. Yeah, look at that. So this is a cool little airport. This is a cool little airport. Yeah, Jaja, that's what I was just thinking about, because the METAR for Beef Island was pretty darn accurate. Hey Antonio, how you doing? What's going on? Yeah, I mean the METAR for, I think 2500 will do it. The METAR for Beef Island called for light showers, and that's exactly what it was. I mean, it's awesome, you know. And that's why I'm thinking, like, if I keep having these bizarre problems with look at this. If I keep having these bizarre problems with Flight Sim 24, I'm just gonna come back to this. There's a little twin otter right there. Alright, let's bring it back here. Bring it back to 23 inches. Bring the props back a little bit. And we'll settle in here. Clean the mixtures a little bit. This is a fun airport. I like this airport. The other airport that this kind of reminds me of is Barbuda. Barbuda, there's a great freeware version of Barbuda Airport on FlightSim.to. And the other thing I remembered is I haven't put in any rudder trim, which is always helpful in this airplane. Alright, so there we go. Yeah, it's looking really good, Antonio, no? I mean, the lighting and the weather just kill me in this. I just love it. Whoopsie. I always go backwards when I'm trying to fly in this direction. See this guy at 18 feet. Unless that's a boat. It might be a boat. I think Matey's got his power at idle right now. I'm trying to stay with us here. Alright, let me see. This is runway 0927. So, in honor of Jim Bridgman, we are going to plug our heading indicator to our runway number. And that should be perfect. Is that, oh wait, is that the electric plane, Cash? I know that's a funky plane. I just don't remember which one. So, man, this is beautiful. It's hard to argue in favor of Flight Sim 24 when you look at this. It really is. It really is. I mean, this is just. Even before 2024 came out, 900 nautical miles of charge. Before 2024 came out, I was of the opinion that even if it didn't, like, this sim is fine for me, like, for the rest of my simming life, you know. I mean, I know there's like little things that can bug you about it, like those, you know, this stuff right here with the nose cone and blah blah blah. And I know not everybody gets great performance with this sim, but honestly, I think this sim is just awesome. Yeah, it's just awesome. Snazzy lamp and Twin Otter. That's a nice plane. I've still never flown in a Twin Otter in real life, believe it or not. believe it or not. Alright, about 10 miles. Yeah. Start a slow descent, just bring a little bit of power out. Bring out about 2 inches of manifold pressure. It'll give you about 300 foot per minute descent. That's perfect from 10 miles. Nice gentle descent. I've never flown that plane either. As matter, and I think I have it now in Flight Sim 24 because I got like the excuse me guys, I got the super duper package in 2024, so I've got all the planes, but I haven't flown the V-tail yet. Man, I've had a cough since Christmas. It's ridiculous. This. What do we got in a little bit of that? Still not much of a tailwind, if any. Nah, we're still into the wind a little bit. But this is a cool little airport. This is a cool little airport. Alright. A little bit more power. I'll bring the props back a little now. Start getting serious about it. Yeah, the V30. You know, I love retractable single pistons. You know, they're simple enough to fly. Especially, like, I mean, I know the start procedures for all of them. Like, they're all you can all start them the same way, basically. Same way I start this airplane. Rotating beacon on, mixture rich, carb heat cold, master switch on, fuel pumps on, magnetos on left, etc., etc. And they're easy to fly, but they have good performance. You know, they have good performance. Yeah, Antonio. I mean, auto FPS is like, it's gotten better and better and better. And there's a new version out that I haven't updated to, version 0.4.4. Wait, 0.4.4.4. Yeah, 3/4. I still haven't updated to that version yet because I want to make a video about updating to it and why it's important to update to it. But instead of making videos for the last 2 days, I've been flying around Brazil. So, Ross, I am not. I am a wannabe island person. I'm actually from New York. I live in New York, and it is freezing cold where I am right now. I mean, legit freezing cold. And I'm in one of those areas that has like the weather warning for severe cold temperatures in the US right now. Yeah, and 24 I'm pretty sure as well. There's 115 knots. We'll go first notch of flaps. The one way to not forget your fuel pumps is just to leave them on. You know. Mixtures forward now. 3 mile final. We are way high. Let's bring in some flaps. I always come in high. Get into the white arc. I don't know why. I get nervous when I start getting near the ground in an airplane, you know. I can square it out a little bit here though. But we're also flying the Islander, so we can come down pretty hard. But yeah, Ross. So anyway, I'm not an island resident or native. I wish I was. I love the Caribbean. My favorite place in the world. My favorite place in the world. But the interesting thing about the Caribbean, Ross, if you haven't been there, is people wouldn't necessarily associate the Caribbean with aviation because Kashif is from the islands, and but you wouldn't necessarily associate the Caribbean with aviation because you think it's, you know, islands. People travel by boat. Well, it's not the case. You know, there's generally long distances. We'll go mixtures and props full forward. Generally long distances between the islands, and the water's just choppy. So aviation's the way to go. So let's trim out for 80 knots here. Let's see if we can do this properly. Trim out for 80 knots. Bring in some power. So I just like to pretend I'm from, I just like to pretend I'm in the islands. See, and again, in order to, yeah, it is jumpy. It is jumpy down here today. Alright, keep the speed up here a little bit. And let's see here, power coming out just a little bit. That feels better. Who's got the jet? Triptronic, that's awesome. Whoopsie. I was having too much fun looking at the jet and not enough. Alright. Power's out. Oy, 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 oy. Yeah, that was a bouncer right there. You know, I've never bounced a landing in real life. Never ever bounced a landing in real life. I've been in a plane when somebody else bounced a landing, but I've never actually bounced an airplane in my life. Alright. I'll lean the mixtures out. Come up one notch on the props. Flaps. Yeah. So we can still make it back to, hopefully we're gonna have a little bit of a tailwind here. Man, we got quite a range of aircraft here. This is a cool little airport, by the way, little Freeware. They did a really great job with the little building there. Alright, so let's head back to Virgin Gorda. Now this is going to be a adventure in this weather. Alright, mixtures and props full forward, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set. Let's check our trim. Gotta go a little bit nose forward on the old trim here. Alright, and takeoff power is coming in. Takeoff power is set. Engine instruments are in the green. Airspeed is alive, accelerating normally. And 70 knots. Let's go flying. Okay, I was wondering if that windsock was going the other way. Yeah, you know, Ross, that's a really good point. That's another place. Part of the downside of having a favorite place to fly is sometimes you don't fly other places. Like, I've always wanted to go. I'm a huge fan of the TV show Shetland. As a matter of fact, we were watching the new season last night, and I would love to go fly the islands out there. I'd love to go fly Scotland, like just cruise around and check out that area. But I don't, because I'm always flying in the Caribbean, you know? But that's a really cool part of the world. Let's drop the nose here a little bit. Get some speed. But yeah, Ross, I would love to see Scotland in the sim and real life, for that matter. Bob, what's going on? Once filled an islander with KFC to the island of Culebra. You know, you're not the first person I've heard say that. 1,000 feet AGL, turn the fuel pumps off. Check the fuel pressure. You can, if you're going from St. Bart's or St. Martin to Saba, or no, as a matter of fact, not even if you're going, if you are in Saba and you want Domino's pizza, which I don't know why you would want that. Well, I guess there's probably not a whole lot of pizza in Saba available. But if you want Domino's Pizza in Saba, you can Winair will deliver it for you. Is the short version of the story I was trying to tell, which I think is absolutely hysterical. I think is absolutely hysterical. And look at the, I mean, I keep saying this, but look at this. How amazing does this look? I mean, it's just incredible. Just incredible. Why am I so, I was gonna say, why am I so nose high? It's because I'm climbing. Flaps are up, fuel pumps off. Let's see here. Yeah, Ross is, I don't know how much it costs. Hey Paolo, how are you doing? What's going on? I don't know how much it costs, to be honest with you. And whenever I say to be honest with you, my wife says, I'm glad you're honest with me. She's a wise guy. No, Paolo, this is 2020. This is Flight Sim 2020. And Chris Loach, what's going on, Chris? How are you? Where is... Oh, it did it again. I knew it was going to do that. Of course, it might help if I knew how to use this thing. EUP. No, don't do that. I'm like this in the car too. Even when I'm going somewhere that I know where it is. Did I just switch to R? Yes, it did. Why did you do that? Tucson. Yeah, it's a little bit farther away. Even when I'm in the car, if I know where I'm going, I still put the GPS. Alright, there we go. But man, look at that. Let's see what we got here. That's awesome. Is that like the B-2 bomber? Is that what that's supposed to be? Oh yeah, Antonio, I do, yes. I do live in New York. Not New York City. I'm quite a ways away from New York City. I worked in New York City I worked in Manhattan for 7 years. And that was enough for me. So, let me see here. So I think if I go around this side of the island, it's gonna put me on a nice downwind for a runway. This is one of those weird runways. Almost every runway in the Caribbean is east-west, and this one I believe is north-south. So we shall see. Look at this. Look at that sunset. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Antonio, I don't miss it, man. I've been out of New York. I've been out of the city. I moved out of the city in 2007, and I do not miss it. I went back. Last time I was in New York City was 2018. Well, I mean, I went there like a couple years ago to drop my wife off for a flight, but last time I was actually in the city. Man, look at this. It's been a while. I mean, this is just crazy. You gotta convince me why I'm going back to Flight Sim 24. You gotta convince me. So, this is a tricky little approach. You gotta come over this ridge. This is IslandSimPilot's been here, but I haven't in real life. You gotta come over this little ridge, so the airport's right here, the runway's right there, and you gotta kind of come out around here and over this ridge and angle in. So I think it's runway 3. I think it's 03 if I'm not mistaken, or 04, one of the two. Swedish VR pilot, what's going on? Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you missed the beginning of the stream. I've been flying the 737 Max in Flight Sim 24 the last couple days, and the performance has just been appallingly bad. And yeah, yaw dampener, exactly. But the performance in Flight Sim 24, and I don't know if it's the plane, I don't know what it is. It's clearly not my internet connection, or I mean, because this sim is working just fine. But man, Swedish VR pilot, I was trying to get VR working in Flight Sim 24, and I had no luck because the performance was terrible, and I thought it was that I just didn't have the hardware for VR. But now I'm starting to think that it was just the sim itself was not working well. So I got a Crystal Light, Pimax Crystal Light. So I'm gonna try it in Flight Sim 2020 and see if it's better. See if it's any better. So let's pull that nose up just a little bit. There's 115 knots. We'll go notch of flaps. I mean, we time this perfectly every time, I think. For these beautiful sunset flights. Alright, roll in a little bit of trim here. You know, Antonio, I'm glad to hear Air Bossman's doing well. He's a good dude, and yeah, up until a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, Flight Sim 24 was running great for me. I don't know if it was the hotfix. Maybe it's the hotfix that screwed it up. I don't know, but I do know it's not working well. Yeah, I mean, that's what I had, Antonio. That's what I had until about a week to 10 days ago, and my performance just plummeted in 24. Might be the plane. I gotta try a different plane tomorrow and see if maybe the plane was the problem. But it's disappointing because I had Flight Sim 24 running great. I had it running really, really well. Alright, so you gotta come over that ridge right there at about 500 feet. Just like Cash is doing right now. Perfect. You gotta come over about, ideally about 600 feet, really. And, yeah, Antonio, I think a lot of people feel the same way. I think the difference between Flight Sim 24 and a lot of other streaming games is that we're literally streaming the entire world, you know, and I just don't know, Mike, I just don't know if it's maybe too much, you know. I bring back a little bit more power here. This is a tricky landing. Alright, so white arc, we'll go flaps here. Getting a little bit of rain. There is a text from my wife. What is she saying? Come on. Open phone. Open phone, please. Okay. Alright, so talk about timing. Alright, so we are at 80 knots. Let's trim it out at 80 knots. Let's go fuel pumps on. Come on, baby. Get with the program here. Alright. So. Energy state is good. Hands off right now feels nice. I think that's what I like. I like getting to a point where I can fly hands off. That's what makes me feel good. I don't like fighting the controls on approaches. Alright, so now we got a float, which is not good. Yeah, look at that right to left wind. Alright. Definitely got to come out with some power here. Wanting to float, but I know what's going to happen. The energy is going to die. And this plane is going to plummet. Alright, see the airspeed drop right there? Man, this is going to be tricky. Alright, as soon as I get over this ridge, I'm going props full forward. Just the fact that there's no light doesn't help. Alright, mixtures of props full forward, fuel pumps are on, flaps are set. And this airplane does not want to come down. Now it really wants to come down. Alright, alright. That'd be a go around in real life. Alright, come on. Come on. Alright. That was alright. Really wasn't too bad, I think, in the grand scheme of things. But boy, that was a tough landing. Lean out the mixtures. It was pretty good for what? I think the windsock is backwards because that was definitely a right to left wind. But wait till you see this. If you guys haven't seen this one, this is a little Freeware airport that somebody did, and it did an absolutely brilliant job. And I love when people do little airports like this. Let's swing it around. There we go. Toes on the brakes. Mixtures to idle. Cut off. Throttles are at idle. Avionics master coming off. Put our flaps up so we don't make fools of ourselves. Fuel pumps off. Mags off. Lights off. And there we go. Now, if you can see, here I'm gonna back this up in time here a little bit. We can see. Check out this little airport. So this is a Freeware that somebody did, and you can literally, like, you can go inside and walk around. There's the Cape Air sign, and like, I mean, I know my head tracking is not real good for close up view like this. Then look at this over here. Whoopsie. See that? They got a little statue over there. But pretty neat for a little Freeware airport, don't you think? Antonio, no, doesn't seem to bother it at all. I use auto FPS all the time. Whoopsie, that didn't go well over there. I use auto FPS all the time. Yeah, Kashif, I was the same way. I had to go. I had to pull the yoke back, get some aerodynamic braking in. That was a pretty good crosswind for sure. You know, Brian, I'm the same way. FlightSim24 was working great for me, and I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened to me, but the way it is, But that was a fun flight today, guys. Thanks for coming out. Just turned the lights on. Oh, what is that thing? I don't even know what that is. But I just got a text from my wife that she's done with work, so I gotta run, fellas. I thought she was gonna be done in a little bit. I gotta run and go pick up Mrs. IslandSimPilot. I appreciate all you guys coming out. I really do. It was a great Wednesday flight. And anybody who's new to the group, come on along on Sunday. We're gonna be flying about 3:30 New York time on Sunday, and we'll find some place fun to go fly. And great to see everybody. Thanks again for coming out. Brian, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming out and joining. I hope everything works out for you. Hope you get it squared away. Chris, Kashif, Matey, Yeah, it's a cool airport. It really is. Antonio, good to see you as well. Bob, take it easy. We'll see you Friday, I'm sure. Or Sunday, rather. And Swedish VR Pilot, good to see you. Kenneth, good to see you as well. Cardboard Sim, great to have you with us. I think you took off, but Paolo, good to see you as well. Ross, thanks a lot for coming along for the flight today. Hope you guys all have a great rest of your week, and awesome, Ross. I look forward to seeing you. All right, guys, everybody have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk soon. Take care, guys. And Peter as well. I don't want to forget Peter. Appreciate you coming out, Peter. Good to see that you could flag in with us. Take it easy. Thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Good to see you.